up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel, if you didn't know. Today's video is going to be all about being a mobile lash artist. So it's about the pros, the cons, and if being a mobile lash artist is for you. Okay, so before I actually get into this video, I do want to apologize for how poor my audio has been since we have moved into our office. It is very, very echoey in here. We have very high ceilings, so it is a little bit harder to get the right audio, but I am working on it for you guys, and hopefully this is like the step in the right direction, but we are working on it. So I am going to start with the pros of being a mobile lash artist. As you know, when you get certified, you kind of have a choice of whatever you want to do in terms of, do you want to be in a salon? Do you want to have a stationary space in your home or rent somewhere? Sometimes people rent studios, sometimes they rent like just certain spaces, or they share it with other salons, or you can be a mobile lash artist. So there are some options and there are some pros and cons to each route you take. So I'm going to run through some pros and cons of being a mobile lash artist. Let's start with the pros. One thing that is definitely a pro is the convenience for your clients. Your clients are obviously going to love the fact that you're a mobile lash artist, and yes, it is 100% convenient for them. Another pro is that it is a nice change of scenery. I know when you do lashes for like 3-4 hours straight, like each person, and you have 3 or 4 people a day, you are literally in the exact same spot for the entire day. That could be 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and you're not moving. So it's really cool to get that change of scenery. You're kind of in a fresh new space every client, and it could be just something like a little more exciting about lashing that gives you a little bit more of an on-the-go feel. Another point is that the fact that you're basically on the go. You're literally on the go all day. You go from client to client, and you're not just stuck in the same space for like 10, 12 hours. It's nice and fresh. It's almost like brand new every single time you have a client. So it's almost like an uplifting feeling to see that you're going from space to space, and then that drive time in between kind of gives you a little bit of break. So it's nice that you're like on the go and not just stuck in one spot. So I think that's a great pro about being a mobile lash artist. It helps you get out of your head and keep you on the go. Another really great one is that, well, this is a little bit more specific to if you're lashing from home specifically, but it's really nice to know that people aren't coming to your home. Sometimes it's a little bit scary or a little bit risky, or you just really don't want people in your space because that is your home, that is your sanctuary, and you don't necessarily want people in that exact space that's yours. So being a mobile lash tech is really that kind of curve. If you can't afford to rent somewhere or go into a salon, this is the way around not having people come into your home. One point that I actually really like, and I think it's very, very smart in a way, is that being a mobile lash tech or mobile lash artist does give you a great edge at the beginning of your lashing career. So if you are a beginner lash artist and you just started and you're looking for something to have people kind of choose you versus somebody else, honestly, just the convenience alone of being a mobile lash artist could be the reason someone chooses you over somebody else, because it does give you that edge. And obviously people want convenience. They'd rather you come to them versus them come to you. And it's just easier. People are generally going to choose that over having to go to you. Another cool thing is that being a mobile lash artist gives you the leverage to kind of cater in a different way. It's a little bit of a different niche. You're able to kind of cater to events. You can literally do mobile events. You can be a part of bridal parties. You can be a part of just parties in general. People could have lash parties. I know that people do it sometimes. And I know it may sound a little bit scary as a lash artist when you're thinking of the timing, but when you do like a group party or like a lash party, it's obviously going to be a lot less lashes, and it's more of the experience versus the actual set. It's almost like a test run, and then people get to know you, you get your name out there, you get a little bit of exposure, and it's like a fun day to kind of do something cool that's a little bit more of an experience versus just like lashing from your home. Another great point about being a mobile lash artist is that you can cater to moms. Moms are a huge market out there, and obviously they don't always have the time to come to you or get childcare, or maybe you just don't cater to the times where they do have childcare. So that way, if you're a mobile lash artist, you're able to go to them, and it just saves them in a huge way. And honestly, you're able to cater to that actual market. It can kind of broaden you if you're going in that direction, and it might just work out in your favor where the moms end up recommending you to other moms, and then you end up having this whole mom market. Okay, so that is it for pros. I am moving on to some cons. So one of the biggest cons, I mean, this is probably one of the biggest things I think personally, is that you don't necessarily know what you're going into. You don't know what people's setup is like, and you don't know what your surroundings are going to be like. So you don't know if they have dogs, you don't know if they have kids running around, and a lot of the times, well, generally being a lash artist and doing lashes does require a lot of patience. It does require a lot of focus, and you don't know if there's something that's going to be around you that will alter your focus, and then you might not be able to do the set the way you wanted, or it might take longer. There's just a lot of factors that could be considered in your surrounding area that could directly impact your service and impact their set. So along with that is that at the end of the day, if you're going into someone else's space, it is that you obviously don't have control of the environment, and you're really in someone else's domain, right? So you have to be prepared to be in someone else's space. You need to make sure that you're able to handle kind of whatever comes at you. If there's other people living there, whatever the case is, you're just generally just not in your own comfort of your own space where you know what's going on around you. Another thing is that you absolutely need to account for travel time. So depending on how you position your business in terms of being a mobile lash artist, you may only take certain people in a certain area. You may have a certain distance that you're going to go to. You might not go too far. But you do have to account for that travel time, and then that could kind of take away from maybe when you add up all the 20 minutes that you spend in a day driving from here to there, or half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever the case is, it does take away from maybe you could have had one more client in the day just based on your travel time alone. Also, when it comes to travel time, you have to cater yourself for traffic, and that means that, again, going back into someone else's space, if you're not catering for someone else's space, there could be factors that may delay you, and then now you have to cater for the traffic to get to your next client, and that can all kind of push your day down. And there's just a lot more factors to consider when you're kind of going from client to client. Another thing to consider is that obviously when you're going as a mobile lash artist, you do have a lot of things you have to carry. You literally have to take your entire lash room with you in your car and get to that space. So it's a lot of setting up and tearing down. So you have to, not a lot, but you do have to consider that you have your lash bed, and that's if you have a lash bed. If you're going to be a mobile lash tech, you definitely need to have a foldable bed so that you're able to carry it in whatever space you're in, whether they have stairs, the space that they want you to be could be smaller. So you have to make sure that you have something that's able to cater when you're in a situation like that. So generally a foldable lash bed, a ring light, all that kind of stuff, you may or may not need help putting that all in, and there may not be someone there to help you in terms of your client having someone there, and who knows, like, you don't really want your client to help you do that either, right? Like, it's better if you bring someone to help you do that. It just looks better on you as well. But sometimes we don't have someone at our disposal to help us set up and tear down. It's something that you definitely have to consider when you're looking into being a mobile lash artist. Another thing, when you are in someone else's space as a lash artist, we are well aware that our humidity is a huge factor in how we lash and the retention of our lashes, and chances are you don't know the humidity level of your room that you'll be in. And even if you do have a hydrometer to check the humidity level, there's not much you can do about it, because, I mean, unless you're bringing a humidifier and a dehumidifier with you, it's a little bit harder to manipulate the humidity and the temperature level of the space that you're going to be in. You don't know if you're going to be in a basement. You don't know if you're going to be in the very top floor. You just don't know where you're going to be. So it's a little bit harder to kind of regulate where you are and regulate your humidity level. So it's a little bit risky in that sense. And at the end of the day, there's not much you can tell your client when they say their lashes are popping off and you talk about humidity, because that's something that you have to take into account, and you have to be the one responsible and let your client know that the humidity level has to be at a certain range. Okay, and my last con about being a mobile lash artist is, to be quite honest, it's generally not allowed in a lot of states. In Canada, like I always say, there's not that many regulations here, so I feel like it's something that we could do here. I've done it a few times myself. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I mean, there are a lot of people that do it out there, and they're totally fine with it. It's something that is definitely not for everybody, but it's something that could be done and is definitely being done as we speak. But it's just something that you have to consider all angles and all the factors about it, because there's already so many things that impact retention and impact the outcome of your set, that you need to know that this, or being a mobile lash artist, can definitely add factors onto that. So you have to be aware of those factors and make sure that you do everything you can to reduce them before you start kind of taking clients like here and there and jumping from space to space. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful. If you are a mobile lash artist out there and you found these tips to kind of be realistic and how you experience it, please comment down below, or comment any extra tips that you would love to share with people, pros or cons. I think that it is definitely something we should all know. And if you feel like my audio is better, please comment down below and let me know, because I am really trying. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back with something new next time. Bye.